All right, so we are going to continue with our mystery unit. I'm so excited because it's one of my favorite units in 3rd grade. All right, so far, so yesterday when we were reading The Absent Author, I have to kind of make a confession to you guys, okay? I was reading The Absent Author and realized that I was totally confused. All right, the detective was talking about some clue he noticed. So Dink was talking about some clue he noticed, and I was kind of clueless. I had no idea what was going on or why what he found was so important. All right, so be honest with me now, since I was just honest. Has this ever happened to you? Has this ever happened to you where you're just kind of, you don't really know what's going on and you don't know why they're telling you the information they're telling you? Or you've gotten lost in a mystery book? Okay, so it happens to all readers from time to time. All right, so we find ourselves confused, and especially in a mystery book, where the author is trying to confuse readers on purpose. But we need to be able to deal with that confusion and to use strategies that help us stay on track and hold on to the mystery. All right, so today I want to teach you that if your mystery book is a long book, or if any book seems long, it helps to have strategies for remembering what you've already read, which will help you hold on to the story as you read on. Sometimes readers pause at the ends of chapters to think, what's the main event that happens? Are there small details that really matter? Okay, so this could also be like retelling. Do you remember when we retold? All right, so because I was getting confused as I read our mystery book, The Absent Author, I paused to think back to what we have read so far and began a timeline of events from the first 3 chapters, okay? All right. So let me show you I put my timeline online so I could show you nicely. So let me share that with you. Okay, so chapter 1, I said that Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose will go to meet Wallace. And then Wallace wrote a letter to Dink saying that he was coming unless he was kidnapped. So that was the main event or the big thing that happened in chapter 1. Do you agree? Give me a thumbs up if you agree. Awesome, I love seeing your thumbs. Okay. In chapter 2, Wallace doesn't show up at the Book Nook. Mr. Paskey is very nervous. He's sweaty and he's blinking his eyes a lot. So he's sweating, he's blinking his eyes. All right, in chapter 3, Dink, Josh, and Ruth Rose will try to find Wallace. They meet Mavis Green, another author. She has a letter from Wallace saying he is worried about being followed. Mr. Paskey gives them Wallace's schedule, and Mr. Paskey is nervous. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and add chapter 4 to our timeline, okay? So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to flip back through chapter 4 in my book, and that's on page 28 through 34. So let me flip through chapter 4 real quick. Actually, I took a screenshot of the chapters here, or the pages here. All right, so looking back, well, in the beginning of the chapter 4, Dink, Ruth, Josh, and Mavis Green go get ice cream at the diner. And then Mavis and Josh order pistachio and mint chocolate chip, and Ruth orders strawberry, and Dink isn't hungry. And Wait, I just don't want to write a list of everything that happened. When I retell in my timeline, I only want to include the main events. All right, so let me try again. Okay, so the detectives all go to the diner to get ice cream. And then who do they meet? Who was the taxi cab driver? Does anyone remember? Her name starts with an M. Does anyone remember the taxi cab driver? All right, and then, oh, I think I saw a hand. Destiny, did I see your hand or no? Go ahead, Destiny.
Mavis Green.
They met, not Mavis. They've already been with Mavis, but another M name. All right, they met Maureen Higgins. All right, so let me add that to our timeline for chapter 4. Okay. All right, so let me read this part to you now, and we'll work together to try and figure out what the main idea is from these 2 pages, okay? So will you guys work together with me to find the main idea from this slide? All right, so make sure you're listening because I'm going to call on people. All right. Well, let me make this bigger, actually. Okay. Can you guys see this? Give me a thumbs up if you can see this slide. Oh, awesome. Thank you, Gabe. Okay. So Maureen stared at them. How? Did you pick up a man named Wallace Wallace at the airport last night? Dink asked. Maureen squinted one of her blue eyes. Why do you want to know? Because he's missing, said Josh. Well, I sure ain't got him. Maureen took a bite out of her sandwich. Mayonnaise oozed onto her fingers. I mean, we didn't think you had him, Dink said, but did you pick him up? Maureen nodded, swallowing. Sure, I picked him up. 7 o'clock sharp. I was there with my sign saying Wallace. The guy spots me, trots over. I take him out to my taxi. He climbs in carrying a small suitcase. Kind of spooky guy. Dressed in a hat, long raincoat, sunglasses. Sunglasses at night. Doesn't speak a word, just sits. Spooky. Did you take him to the Shangri-La Hotel? Dink asked. Yep, those were my orders. Guy didn't have to give directions, but it would have been nice if he just said something. Pass the time, you know. A lot of people, they chat just to act friendly. Not this one. Quiet as a mouse in the back seat. Maureen wiped mayonnaise from her fingers and lips. Who is this Wallace fella anyway? He's a famous writer, Ruth Rose said. Maureen's mouth fell open. You mean I had a celebrity in my cab and never even knew it? What happened when you got to the hotel? Josh asked. Maureen stood up and tossed her napkin into the trash. I get out of my side, then I open his door. He hops out, hands me a 20. Last I seen, he's scooting into the lobby. All right, so what do you think the main idea of this slide is, of what I just read? What would you write down? If you were adding to the timeline, what would you write down from this slide? All right, what was this all about with Maureen? What did she do? What did Maureen do? What's Maureen's job? What does Maureen do? What's her job? She drives a what? Gabe, go ahead.
A taxi.
Yeah, she drives a taxi. And who was she dropping off? Niley?
Wallace Wallace.
She dropped off Wallace Wallace at the, what? Where did she drop him off? Who remembers? Go ahead, Heavenly. Heavenly, was your hand raised? Where did Maureen drop off Wallace Wallace? Starts with an H. Jose, do you remember where Maureen dropped Wallace Wallace off at? Make sure you're listening, Jose. All right, where did Maureen drop Wallace Wallace off? Go ahead, Gabe.
At the hotel.
Yeah, she dropped him off at the hotel. All right, so they ate ice cream, they met Maureen, and then she says that she drove Wallace Wallace to the hotel, and he was wearing a raincoat and sunglasses at night. He didn't talk. And he wore sunglasses at night. Okay. So, all right, do you see how going back and looking through what we've already read kind of helps our understanding? When you pause to retell, give me a thumbs up. I only see 4 people's thumbs. Awesome. All right. Let me go ahead and show you your independent work for today.